Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 350 based on novel. So let's start. No cultivator of the origin sect noticed what had happened in the southern courtyard. The southern courtyard was a forbidden land, so no disciple would dare to enter. Even Liu Yanfei and company would only come if called, and they wouldn't dare to break in. After instantly killing a rank 8 beast and telling the rank 6 sect cultivators to scram, Wang Lin was like an ancestor to the origin sect disciples. They were filled with respect and awe toward him. Liu Yansong's expression was extremely ugly as he stared at Wang Lin. He was in a dilemma. Before the eyes of this man in white, he couldn't step forward or backward. If he stepped forward, he felt like the world would collapse, but if he stepped backward, his Tao would collapse. It was as if his Tao was mere child's play before this man in white. Sweat came out from his forehead. Liu Yansong had never seen a person who had a Tao like this. Everything seemed like an illusion, but if the other party wished, everything would be real. He even had a feeling that this world would change along with this person's will. If he sits there, he is Tao. A strange thought appeared in Liu Yansong's mind. Li Qianmei's words came at this moment. Her voice was soft and beautiful, there was even a sense of elegance in it that made people calm down. When Wang Lin's gaze moved from Li Yansong to Li Qianmei, Liu Yansong let out a breath of relief. He retreated several steps and his expression turned gloomy. Wang Lin calmly looked at Li Qianmei. This woman's cultivation was unfathomable. Although she was hiding her cultivation level, Wang Lin could see that she was at the Nirvana Shatterer stage. Who is this fellow cultivator? Wang Lin's eyes were calm, but his mind began to think. A gentle breeze blew by, causing a few strands of Li Qianmei's hair to flutter before her. She pulled those strands of hair behind her ear as she looked at Wang Lin and softly said, "Heaven-breaking sect, Li Qianmei." Wang Lin's mind moved, but his expression didn't change and he slowly said, "Why did fellow cultivator Li come here?" Li Qianmei chuckled as she blinked and smiled. "I came to ask elder brother 3 questions to help ease Qianmei's doubts." "Why should I resolve your doubts?" Wang Lin's words were calm. Li Qianmei's expression was still calm. After pondering a bit, she said, "Qianmei can play a song on my flute for you." Wang Lin frowned and calmly said, "I don't need it." Li Qianmei smiled and softly said, "Qianmei can resolve your issue with the Purple Tao sect." "I don't need it." Li Qianmei was distressed as she looked at Wang Lin and softly said, "Tao brother seems to misunderstand. Qianmei just met brother Lu and just happened to come together. I didn't come here to fight Tao brother. Qianmei won't participate in the matter between you and the Purple Tao sect. I just want to ask 3 questions that I have had for a long time. I have no other intent." Li Qianmei rarely explained things in such detail. She naturally saw that Wang Lin thought that she had come with Liu Yansong, so she explained everything. After looking at Li Qianmei for a bit, Wang Lin frowned and asked, "What kind of doubt?" "It is related to Tao." Li Qianmei smiled. Wang Lin slowly said, "1 doubt for 1 item." When Liu Yansong heard this, he revealed a wry smile. He didn't think of asking for an item. He would have instead listened to her music for fun and with the intent of getting on good terms with her. Li Qianmei was also startled. She chuckled and nodded. If Tao brother can solve Qianmei's issue, that is possible. Wang Lin lowered his head to look at the rank 8 pill in his hand and calmly said, "Ask." "Tao brother, Qianmei's first question, what is heaven?" Li Qianmei's eyes lit up. The most satisfactory answer she had heard was Liu Yansong saying that the heavens were a cage. At this moment, she really wanted to know how this ordinary-looking man in white would answer. Not only did she have expectations, even Liu Yansong became serious. He wanted to know how someone with such a powerful Tao domain would answer this question. Liu Yansong always thought that his answer was perfect, or else he wouldn't have been the first person to make Li Qianmei ask the second question. After hearing Li Qianmei's question, Wang Lin smiled. He looked at Li Qianmei but didn't speak. Seeing Wang Lin's smile, Li Qianmei was very puzzled, but she wasn't in a rush, so she waited for Wang Lin to answer. Lu Yunsong frowned. He didn't know why this man in white had smiled after hearing this question. The way Lu Yunsong saw it, that smile was filled with sarcasm and ridicule. Wang Lin shook his head and calmly said, "Ask the second question." Lu Yunsong looked at Wang Lin and said, "You haven't told her what heaven is." Wang Lin looked at Lu Yunsong and casually said, "Oh? Then what do you think heaven is?" "Heaven is a cage. The opening of the well is heaven. The surface of the water is heaven." Lu Yunsong's words were calm but filled with confidence. Li Qianmai was still frowning on the side and still thinking. She couldn't see through Wang Lin. When she heard Lu Yunsong's words, she softly said, "Qianmai has asked a lot of fellow cultivators this question, but elder brother Lu gave the most convincing answer." "Why did Dao brother laugh? Is there something wrong with Qianmai's question?" Wang Lin looked at Li Qianmai, and after a long time, he calmly said, "Is there a heaven?" After he spoke, Li Qianmai was startled in place. She had asked many people, but none of them had responded like this. Even Lu Yunsong's pupils shrank, and he subconsciously looked up at the sky. Lu Yunsong coldly snorted. "What nonsense! Heaven is all around us. What kind of nonsense is asking if there is a heaven?" Li Qianmai pondered for a bit and softly said, "Where is there no heaven?" Wang Lin didn't speak but raised his right hand and waved. A breeze blew through the courtyard and a circle appeared on the ground around Li Qianmai and Lu Yunsong. It was as if someone had drawn a circle around them with a stick. "This is the circle, is the heaven both of you think exist. Because you believe that there is a heaven, the heavens exist. You regard yourselves as ants that struggle to break out from the heavens, which is your cage. This is your belief and your faith. However, even if you walk out from the circle, what's the use?" Wang Lin shook his head and waved his right hand, then another circle formed around the circle from before. "Once you come out, there will still be another heaven, and the cycle of karma continues without end until the heaven in your heart is erased by the heavens, and this is the lie of the heavens. I was thinking about this hundreds of years ago. So why must there be a heaven?" After Wang Lin finished speaking, he calmly sat there and no longer spoke. Lu Yunsong's body trembled violently, as if someone had hit his head with a bat. His ears buzzed as if countless bolts of thunder had exploded in his mind, and he subconsciously took a few steps back. He stepped out of the first circle but was still in the second. He stared at the two circles as Wang Lin's voice echoed in his mind. "Lie of the heavens." His face gradually grew pale and his mind became chaotic. The Tao he had cultivated all his life began to crack. He wanted to refute the words of the man in white, but he was powerless. The two circles outside his body seemed to expand forever and eventually became the heaven in his heart, a cage. He spent all his effort to get out of the first cage only to find that he was in another one. This strange feeling made his face pale, and blood came out from the corner of his mouth. He revealed a self-deprecating smile. Li Qianmai slowly closed her eyes, and her mind trembled. Wang Lin's words were like a rune that danced in her mind and was gradually engraved into her heart. She originally thought that the confusion in her Tao was like the clouds. No one she had asked along the way could lift it, only Lu Yunsong's words were like lightning that made the clouds dissipate a bit. However, at this moment, she understood that Lu Yunsong's understanding of Tao was simply ridiculous. He had fallen into the lie of heavens and was unable to pull himself out. Wang Lin's voice was like a storm. It turned into two invisible hands and swept away all the confusion and clouds in her mind, revealing the blue sky. Her eyelashes trembled lightly as Li Qianmai opened her eyes. She looked at Wang Lin for a long time and admiration appeared in her eyes. Li Qianmai bowed and softly said, "Can Dao brother tell me your name?" "Lu Zihao." Wang Lin's voice was still calm without the slightest fluctuation. Brother Lu's answer has enlightened Qianmai. Qianmai would like to ask the second question. I hope Brother Lu can clear Qianmai's doubts. Li Qianmai looked at Wang Lin with bright eyes. For the first question, I want one of the highest quality pills you have. Wang Lin looked at Li Qianmai. Li Qianmai blinked and revealed a smile. Her little girl smile was very alluring, but at this moment, Lu Yun-sung was bitterly thinking, so he didn't see it. Wang Lin saw it, but he was indifferent. Bother Lu has miscalculated. Most of the pills on Qian Mai are half complete and need to be refined back at the sect. The highest I have is only rank 10, and it isn't a soul-parting death pill, but a healing pill. Since Brother Lu asked for it, I'll give it to you. After Li Qianmai spoke, her right hand reached at the void and a crack to her storage space appeared. A pill flew out into Wang Lin's hands. Wang Lin frowned as he accepted the pill and put it away after looking at it. Qianmei's second question, what is heaven? Li Qianmei's eyes were very bright. Her heart pounded as she waited for Wang Lin's answer. She had never felt this kind of feeling before. Even when Lu Yun-sung was answering, although she was looking forward to it, there wasn't this level of expectation. After hearing Li Qianmei's second question, Wang Lin raised his head to look at the blue sky. There was a hint of melancholy on his face as he softly said, the first question was asking about the limit of Tao. The second is asking about the will of the heavens. After he spoke, Li Qianmei's eyes became even brighter and fixated on Wang Lin. He was the first person she had met that was able to guess the different meaning behind the two same questions. Lu Yun-sung took a deep breath and suppressed the chaos in his mind. After hearing Wang Lin's words, he was startled, but he understood why he wasn't qualified to answer the third question even though he felt that his answer was perfect. Because he didn't even understand the difference between the two questions. An old friend once told me that the rain is born from the heavens and dies on the earth. The middle is life. But does the rain really come from the heavens? Rain comes from the void and has nothing to do with the heavens. The rain falls on the earth and nourishes all life, but it has nothing to do with the earth. It is just the fate of rain. The rain forms from water vapor, and water vapor comes from all living things. The rain naturally needs to return to them. This is a cycle of karma, and it can also be considered fate. There is the law of fate. It is invisible, but it surrounds all life and quietly changes everything. Wang Lin looked at the sky and randomly waved his hand. A thunderous rumble came from the sky and then water vapor gathered from all sides. Dark clouds appeared, and a moment later, rain fell from the sky. Look at the life of a raindrop. Is there any raindrop that falls in a straight line? I observed rain for a long time like I was viewing life, but I didn't see any drop of rain fall straight without changing its trajectory. They always change due to the wind or the clouds or their own weight, adjusting the place they will land. Do you see the unwillingness from the rain? Do you know why it is like this? Wang Lin withdrew his gaze and looked at Li Qianmai. Li Qianmai looked at the rain, and after a long time, she softly said, where the will of the heavens exists, fate will change. The life of a raindrop is very short, but due to cycle, it is very long. Cultivators like us have very long lives, but due to the will of the heavens, it is also very short. However, in the short life of a drop of rain, it struggles countless times to escape the control of fate. In order to fight fate, it keeps changing where it will land. And the long lives of cultivators like us are not something the rain can't compare to, but how many are willing to desperately struggle to the death to escape the clutches of fate like the rain? To struggle until death to resist the arrangement of the heavens. To struggle until death to defy the will of the heavens. Wang Lin waved his sleeves and the sky rumbled and the rain was pushed back into the clouds. The dark clouds collapsed and the rain turned into water vapor that dissipated into the world. You changing the fate of the raindrop makes you the will of the heavens. The moth will be burned by the fire. If you blow out the fire, making it so the moth can't die in the fire, then you have changed the fate of the moth. If fate wants someone to die but you save them, then you are the will of the heavens. There is a saying from ancient times, those who call themselves kings and lords more noble than us. This saying embodies this truth. The Celestials also had a saying, once a man achieves Tao, his chicken and dogs will rise to heaven. This is another embodiment of this truth. This is my answer to your second question. Wang Lin's voice was resolute. After he spoke, everything became quiet. As Lu Yun-sung stared at Wang Lin, his mind trembled. His eyes were filled with a complicated expression, but he couldn't help but respect this ordinary man in white. The other party's words had fallen on his mind. Li Yun-sung silently pondered for a moment and then clasped his hands at Wang Lin. He didn't speak, but his action revealed his admiration. Li Qianmai looked at the sky and confusion filled her eyes. She let out a sigh and looked at Wang Lin. This time her gaze was very different. She bit her lower lip and softly said, "Little sister is convinced by Brother Lu's Tao." As she spoke, she waved her right hand and took out a jade and pill from her storage space. She gently sent them over. This is a semi-complete pill infused with a rank 10 beast soul. The list of herbs and method required to finish the pill are inside the jade. She hesitated a bit before looking at Wang Lin and whispering, "Little sister has one last question to ask." Wang Lin was the first person she had met who made her ask the third question. There was a trace of complexity in her eyes as she carefully looked at Wang Lin as if she wanted to engrave him in her mind. No else one knew the importance and significance of these three questions to her. "I hope Brother Lu can resolve little sister's third question." For some unknown reason, there was a trace of red on Li Qianmai's face. Li Qianmai looked at Wang Lin and softly said, "The third question still is, what is heaven?" Wang Lin silently pondered and closed his eyes. Time slowly passed, and after 7 minutes, Wang Lin opened his eyes. He looked at Li Qianmai and calmly spoke. "What you asking is about not heaven, but Tao." Li Qianmai pondered a bit and gently nodded. "I have always been thinking about this question as well. I once thought that I found the answer, but looking at it now, that answer doesn't seem complete. I wonder what the answer Brother Lu obtained was. Can you tell, little sister?" Li Qianmei's gaze was pure as she looked at Wang Lin. Li Yun-sung stood on the side and let out a sigh in his heart. He felt like he was a third wheel. He shook his head and simply sat down on the ground. He waved his right hand, took out a jug, and downed a big gulp. Wang Lin pondered a bit and slowly said, "I'm the fish, the Tao is the net, and the river is the heavens. The fisherman who controls the net is fate." When Li Yun-sung heard this, his right hand stopped. He pondered a bit, and after a long time, he seemed to gain enlightenment. He looked at Wang Lin, then his right hand reached at the void to take out another jug of wine and he threw it at Wang Lin. Wang Lin caught the jug and took a big gulp. Li Yun-sung let out a sigh and looked at Wang Lin with a complicated look. Although this person looked ordinary, he had an aura that made him yield. My child was really damned. Dying to him could be considered his fortune. Li Yun-sung wasn't an ordinary person. After drinking a mouthful of wine, he untied the knot in his heart. Li Qianmai frowned as she gently massaged between her brow and softly said, "Teacher once said something similar. He once said that a person is the ant, Tao is the mountain, and will is the heavens. If the heavens are angry, the Tao moves with the heavens. If the ant is angry, it also has the strength to move the mountain." As she spoke, looked at the ground. She placed down a white cloth and also sat down. Tao isn't the net or the mountain, but a thought. This thought varies from person to person. Some people regard it as a net, while others regard it as a mountain. When Wang Lin heard Li Qianmei's words, he began to ponder, and his eyes gradually grew brighter. Tao is a thought? A person is a person because they have thoughts, so they can separate from their body, merge with the world, and ponder about the unknown. Li Yun-sung also seemed to gain enlightenment, and he seemed to mutter to himself. Li Qianmai thought for a bit and smiled. Brother Lu's way of thinking is very peculiar. The three of them seemed to have forgotten the passage of time and began to chat in the courtyard. The originally murderous aura had been washed away by this Tao debate. Night came and the moon hung high in the sky. This caused the shadow of the moon to appear before all three of them. The three of them forgot about time as they debated Tao, but this made the lives of the people outside bitter. The old man originally wasn't anxious, but after waiting for more than half a day, he began to frown. He didn't understand why they hadn't returned after such a long time with the sect master's cultivation and Li Qianmai. After several more hours, the anxiety in the old man's heart became even stronger. He vaguely had a bad feeling. He clenched his teeth and no longer hesitated. He took control of the tiger beast and headed to the continent of Mo Luo along with more than 30 Purple Dao sect core disciples. However, just as they closed in, before they broke through the protective barrier, a commanding voice echoed. "Back off. Without my order, you're not allowed to take half a step into the continent of Mo Luo." This voice belonged to Lu Yun Song. The old man was startled and quickly controlled the tiger to retreat. However, his heart was still puzzled. Inside the courtyard, daylight enveloped the yard. Wang Lin looked at Lu Yun Song, and Lu Yun Song silently sat there drinking wine. He understood that he was not an opponent for this man in white. Even if the entire Purple Dao sect came, it wouldn't make any difference. Wang Lin looked at Li Qianmai and calmly said, "For the third question, I can only say that Dao is like a thought." Li Qianmai revealed a smile, and it was very beautiful. She looked at Wang Lin and softly said, "Thank you, Brother Lu, for resolving little sister's doubt. I hope Brother Lu inform me once he finds the answer to the third question. From now on, little sister won't be asking others these questions." Wang Lin was startled. He looked at Li Qianmai, and after pondering for a bit, he nodded. Lu Yun Song let out a sigh and stood up. He clasped his hands at Wang Lin and said, "Fellow cultivator Lu, with our Night of Dao debate, our past enmity is gone. However, you must return that Yin celestial flag to me." Wang Lin's gaze was calm and he shook his head. Lu Yun Song took a deep breath and bitterly smiled. Lu Yun Song let out a sigh and said, "Fellow cultivator Lu, this Yin celestial flag doesn't belong to the Purple Dao sect. It was sent by the main sect to be nourished. It must be returned after 100 years. If you don't want to return it, I won't insist, but once the 100-year period is up and the main sect comes asking for it, don't blame me for telling them the truth. The Yin celestial flag is something that belongs to the main sect." Wang Lin's expression was neutral, but thoughts flashed through his mind. "It is. Forget it. Since you don't want to return it, I won't insist. Farewell." Lu Yun Song clasped his hands. When he looked at Li Qianmai and saw that she had no intent to leave, he couldn't help but feel bitterness in his heart. He clasped his hands at Li Qianmai and left. After Lu Yun Song left, Li Qianmai looked at Wang Lin and gently smiled. She held up her jade flute next to her mouth and began to play. The sound of the flute echoed. It was filled with warmth and elegance. It was graceful like a gentle sea breeze and made it so people couldn't help but be immersed. This flute contained a tranquil charm, like the life in a village or the clear, mountain stream. It washed away all the dirt in one's heart. It was like a rainbow bridge that connected two people so the estrangement between them would disappear. Feeling the quiet and elegance in the song, Wang Lin closed his eyes. It was as if he had gone back to planet Suzaku and saw that woman playing the zither, or the blind woman in the demon spirit land. The flute song entering his ears mixed with the zither in his heart. It was difficult to distinguish them. Lu Yun Song left accompanied by the sound of the flute, and the bitterness in his heart became even stronger. He looked at the origin sect and let out a sigh before leaving without looking back. After an unknown amount of time, the sound of the flute dissipated. Li Qianmai stood up and looked at Wang Lin before walking toward the gate of the courtyard. Then she stopped and looked back with a smile. Just as this smile bloomed, Wang Lin opened his eyes. "Brother Lu, the continent of Penglai will be holding an auction that only occurs every 30 years. Are you interested in going?" The continent of Penglai was very famous in the rank 5 region. Most of this fame came from the Treasured Jade sect. The Treasured Jade sect was the #1 sect in the rank 5 region. They had many cultivators and naturally had a lot of old monsters. The continent they were on was called Penglai, but it was also called the Penglai Celestial Realm. The size of Penglai was far larger than Mo Luo, it was at least a dozen times bigger. It's a bit inappropriate to call it a continent, because it was half a cultivation planet. In the Cloud Sea, there were very few cultivation planets, they were very rare. Only those very powerful sects could own them. Even the Treasured Jade sect wasn't qualified to occupy a complete cultivation planet, they could only get half. They only got half because an ancestor 20,000 years ago had achieved great merit and this was given to them by the rank 9 Ghost sect. Even until now, no other higher-rank cultivator dared to covet for this cultivation planet, which allowed the treasured Jade sect to keep this cultivation planet. Looking through the star fog, Penglai looked like a tooth. Layers of protective barriers glowed around it, pushing the star fog back and making Penglai shine. Aside from the treasured Jade sect, part of the fame of Penglai was the auction it held every 30 years. Every time, there would be a large amount of cultivators, including some famous cultivators from the upper regions. The whole thing was extremely lively. The auction takes place over 3 months, meaning there will be a very comprehensive list of treasures, pills, pill recipes, and spirit beasts for sale. It provides cultivators with a large variety of resources. This also includes the exchanging of celestial jades and origin crystals along with the trafficking of bodies and cultivation furnaces. There was even gambling by using your own spirit beast to fight. Of course, the most interesting things were the Penglai Chaos and auctioning your own goods. The Penglai Chaos was an environment in the treasured Jade sect where cultivators could freely bet in life and death matches. The winner would take the loser's treasures. The auction on Penglai was about to open, so many rays of light were heading over. Due to the matter with the jade and pill recipe, there were many cultivators from the rank 6 region this time. There were even cultivators from the rank 7 or 8 regions coming as well. Among the stars, there were 2 rays of light. It was a man and woman. The man wore white and looked very calm. Even if a mountain collapsed before him, his expression wouldn't change. He was Wang Lin. The woman beside him was extremely beautiful and also wore snow white as well. Her blue hair moved without any wind and her exquisite face could cause anyone's heart to pound. She gave off a tranquil and elegant aura, like she was a fairy that had descended onto this mortal world. If you met her eyes, you wouldn't be able to help but feel ashamed. Just a few more days before we reached the continent of Penglai. Chiang Mai came to Penglai 500 years ago with a fellow sect member. It was very lively and I have good memories of it. The woman's beautiful eyes revealed a trace of remembrance, and she smiled. Wang Lin was on the side, silently looking ahead. He normally wouldn't have come here with Li Qianmei and wasn't interested in this auction. However, after listening to Li Qianmei's words, he pondered a bit and was tempted. The cloud sea was filled with star fog, and without an accurate star map, it was almost impossible to navigate. The higher rank the region, the more true this was. In order to go from the rank 5 region to the rank 8 region, it required a lot more star maps. In the Cloud Sea, a comprehensive star map was very rare. Most were made by individuals, so they required you to collect many of them. Then you'd had to verify their accuracy before obtaining a more comprehensive map. The reason he had agreed to come was because he wanted to get a star map. However, star maps were extremely valuable, and very few people were willing to trade them. After all, with how the Cloud Sea was, a star map was the top secret of a sect. This was understandable. Very few sects dared to say they had a star map that covered this vast star system covered in star fog. After all, there were many places that no cultivators had gone to before. At times like this, the role of a star map was extremely important. On an unknown continent, the information on what fierce beasts there were and what herbs there were would be considered valuable information. Only a few cultivators or a sect would control his information. Without a star map, it would be difficult to move, even the development of a sect would be affected. The only way they could get resources would be to go to some wild continents everyone knew. Therefore, every single sect would spend a lot of effort to explore the stars. However, it was difficult to find your direction within the fog, and there were countless fierce beasts within. It would often cost a sect a great price to explore an area. As a result, it was naturally better to exchange star maps. However, humans were naturally greedy, so even in exchanges, there would be false information or information that would lead people to dangerous areas. As a result, the trading of star maps gradually died down. Every single sect preferred to go explore themselves and obtain a safe star map rather than exchanging for a fake one that would make them pay a bloody price. As for Li Qianmei, she had used a unique transfer array in her sect to each of the sub-sects. Only after several transfers did she arrive in the rank 5 region. This was a common method sect rank 8 and above sects used in the Cloud Sea. Like spreading seeds into the lower regions, they supported or reconstructed various subsects. They allowed the subsects to grow, and their biggest role was to act as transfer locations. This allowed the people of the main sect to move to the different regions and thus avoid the issue of the lack of star maps. There was a transfer array like this in the origin sect. However, every time the transfer array activated, it would be crossing star fields and therefore required a large amount of celestial jade or origin crystals to activate. Thus, without the main sect giving the appropriate permission, it was impossible to activate. Along the way, Wang Lin was pondering. He pretended to listen to Li Qianmei's words but didn't chat with her. Li Qianmei was very angry. Along the way, this man beside her was like a mute and never said a word. It was only her talking, as if she was talking to herself. As the two flew, they became silent. Wang Lin looked at Li Qianmei. After pondering a bit, he slowly said, "The rank 9 region is very mysterious to us. I wonder how many sects are in the rank 9 region." There was no flaw in his question. In the Cloud Sea, due to the star fog, it created barriers between cultivators, so a lot of information wasn't widespread. The rank 9 region was also high above and was a mysterious existence. The origin sect records only had a simple description of the rank 9 region, they only knew that there was a god sect. Wang Lin only found out about the heaven-breaking sect after obtaining the jade and searching the memories of the poison old woman. After all, a rank 5 sect wouldn't know more than a rank 6 sect. Li Qianmei heard Wang Lin talk. After pondering a bit, she answered Wang Lin's question. There are a total of 4 sects in the rank 9 region, namely the God sect, the Ghost sect, the Demon sect, and the Heaven-breaking sect. The Heaven-breaking sect Qianmei belongs to is the weakest, while the God sect is the strongest. The Ghost sect is the most mysterious. As for the Demon sect, Li Qianmei hesitated a bit and whispered. The Demon sect is located in the deepest part of the rank 9 region, and it is very difficult for cultivators to enter it. All the powerful fierce beasts gather there. Teacher once said that there are terrifying beasts that can take human form there. However, with the God sect around, the Demon sect isn't be able to do much. Oh. Wang Lin's expression changed slightly and then he said, "Fierce beasts that can take human form." Li Qianmei nodded and softly said, "Fierce beasts can comprehend the heavens and cultivate Tao, so why wouldn't they be able to cultivate a human form? However, there aren't many fierce beasts like this, only a rare few. There are a few matters you and a vast majority of cultivators don't know about. Even my heaven-breaking sect only found out about some of these secrets after entering the rank 9 region." Li Qianmei's expression was serious. After pondering a bit, she whispered, "A long time ago, there was only one sect in the rank 9 region of the Cloud Sea. It was the God sect. After the God sect had ruled the Cloud Sea for countless years, the first outbreak of fierce beasts occurred. During that time, there were 3 fierce beasts with human form. It was said they came from another star system. Without the God sect, this outbreak of fierce beasts would have spread across the entire Cloud Sea. In the end, it was stopped by the God sect, so it didn't spread, and not many outsiders know of this. That war was said to have brought heavy casualties. After suppressing the fierce beasts, the God sect sent out a group of people to be stationed in the depths of the rank 9 region. There is crack in space there that links to a mysterious star system. Some extremely powerful beasts came from there. In order to stop the fierce beasts from spreading, battles broke out there for tens of thousands of years. Even now, the fight continues. A part of the God sect gave up their freedom and remained deep within the rank 9 region, acting as the first line of defense. However, as time passed, these God sect disciples became independent and started calling themselves the Demon sect. They stopped taking orders from the God sect, but they still defended that position from waves of fierce beast attacks. Li Qianmei's voice was very beautiful, but the contents of her words were shocking. Wang Lin's eyes became serious. He didn't think the Cloud Star system was hiding such a shocking secret. The God sect was worried about this. They dreaded the Demon sect and the invading fierce beasts. They first helped promote the Ghost sect, who are good at using soul capture spells, into a rank 9 sect. Then they raised my heaven-breaking sect into rank 9 as well. All of this was to prepare for the second outbreak that could happen at any time. After she finished speaking, she looked at Wang Lin and softly said, "This matter is of great importance. I hope Brother Lu won't tell others." Wang Lin silently pondered for a moment and nodded. He then looked into the distance as if his gaze could penetrate the void and reach the rank 9 region. He saw the spatial crack the demon sect had been suppressing for tens of thousands of years and saw the mysterious unknown star system inside. Everything in this world has a reason. If what Li Qianmai said is true, then where is that mysterious star system? This video will end here.